Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. We have our FPL Game Week 8 review and Game Week 9 preview. As you can see, it was a very, very good game week for the team here. We played our bench boost, and the most pleasing thing about this isn't the points, because we scored, what's that, 9, 17, 21, 22 from the bench boost. It was the fact that we identified this game week, which, yes, I know it was fairly obvious considering who we had on the bench for the bench boost. We planned for it, we executed it, and we did everything possible for it to actually come to fruition. So I'm very pleased with that. Overall, we scored a 91. We moved into a 178k rank. This is from the official site. Other live sites have us sitting between 178k to 198k. So I was very, very happy with that. I mean, I think we were 500k last, no, 600k last game week. So we've done quite well in that aspect. Very happy with that. Raya, clean sheet. That's just a given at the moment. Pedro Porro, well, Spurs are absolutely terrible. Yeah, we won't talk about that. Gabriel, clean sheet and the assist and a few bonuses there. Daniel Munoz, 2 assists. Burn was actually on 3, got a late yellow card, so that was quite annoying. My man Saar blanked, which, I mean, props to Mateta owners. They did absolutely fantastic in holding the faith, and they got rewarded. It was a little bit weird to see Palace scoring all these goals with no Saar involvement. But what can you do? Anton Semenyo, he had 1 assist, although it potentially should have been 2. Nothing has been changed, and I don't think it will be. Mohamed Kudos, blank, but had a goal ruled out for offside, which was a shame, but it was there. Haaland, captain, we know how that played out. A brace and some bonus against Everton. João Pedro, I mean, oh, the volume of shots isn't there, and that's a perfect segue to why we traded him out. It was between Pedro or Gyökeres. I know Pedro has the easier fixture this week. Gyökeres has Palace, game week 9, but Pedro has Sunderland. And in saying that, I think Gyökeres will, I hope, still continue with the volume of shots that he has had in the recent weeks. Therefore, that's why he's staying, and we have transferred João Pedro out. Bench boost, Dubravka, the hero there, clean sheet, save points, and I think it was 2 bonuses as well. Cucurella hit Defcons and kept it clean. Anderson, Defcons, Rangers, 1 point, got hooked before the 60, but overall, we bench boosted for a 91 point game week in game week 8 with an 89k game week rank, and that's put us into 178k, which is fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Now, I spoke about why I transferred João Pedro out, but I didn't say who for. Could have been Mateta, but overall, I think that Nick Waltemade's fixtures are a lot better than what João Pedro's are. And that's what they're doing in those fixtures. It's not just the fixtures themselves, it's what they're allowed to do in those fixtures. Sunderland have been fairly decent defensively. Overperforming, yes, but definitely not terrible. And I don't think João Pedro is going to just massively increase the volume of his shots that he's been taking, which has literally been non-existent. He's barely had any in the last 5, hence why I've decided to transfer him out over Gyökeres and bring in another Newcastle player alongside Dan Burn. Yes, I know that they play midweek. They have Benfica at home. Again, they're not traveling, so I'm more than happy with that. I also think that the next three for Newcastle are relatively better than what Chelsea's are. I think, we could be doing this next week, and Chelsea have put 5 or 6 past Sunderland, and João Pedro's returned with a brace and a 15 pointer, and I look a little bit silly, but logically and statistically speaking, Walter Mate is the better pick out of the two. And overall, for the longer term vision, I think Newcastle's fixtures are a little bit better than Chelsea's for the long term. It would have been easier to just, I guess, not easier, I shouldn't say that. It would have been um, explainable to go Jokeres to Walter Mate and keep João Pedro. In saying that, I think due to the volume of shots, it's only like his returns have to be coming soon. They really do. Um, we're looking at the previous last five. Jokeres had a lot more shots and a lot more goal involvement. I guess expected goal involvement than João Pedro did. Walter Mate, again, I think he's a fantastic option. We bought him in at 7.3. He is now 7.4. So he's on the rise clearly. And I think if he scores again midweek against Benfica, which Newcastle should win comfortably, little promotion here as well. That's obviously in the Champions League. If you haven't checked out the UCL video on our channel, make sure you do. We're doing quite well in that format. I think Newcastle beat Benfica, and then it's just, yeah, bandwagon territory. You could easily go up 0.2 in the week prior to game week 9. This is how we're going to be lining up. Now, I know, as you can see, Daniel Munoz is benched, but I have been reading that it's almost like a transition period where Palace have gone from a very, very good defensive beast to a very good attacking beast. And overall, I'm always going to play the attackers over, I guess, defenders. Yes, Munoz is more of an attacker than a defender, but I'm going to be playing my man Ismail Assar over Daniel Munoz here. Um, Palace have conceded quite a high volume of XG lately, and Arsenal just get the job done. I wouldn't be surprised if this ends 0-0. We do have the double defensive Arsenal assets in Raya and Gabriel, and I think that Arsenal win this game, although Palace have been very good for a while now. I just think it's more likely that Arsenal keep it clean than Palace do, and Spurs have been a lot better away from home than they have been at home. Hence why I have Porro and Kudos on over Munoz. And I think the other picks on field speak for themselves. So realistically, it came down to either Munoz on field or Sarr on field. And if you've watched me for a while now, you know I'm a huge Ismail Sarr fan. That's not to say that I don't think Munoz might not get any attacking returns. I just don't think they keep a clean sheet there. I'll be surprised if they do. So this is how we're going to line up for game week 9. Now, obviously, there's midweek games. There's Champions League. Um, that's midweek as well. We have, obviously, Spurs boys, the Arsenal boys. We've got the City boys. We now only have one Chelsea option. Um, and yeah, we've got Newcastle as well. Sorry, I think I said them, but they're all playing midweek. So hopefully nothing does happen midweek where we do need to change it up. But this is potentially how we're going to line up. I think it will still definitely be captaincy on Haaland. Not too sure why it's on Semenyo. I must have done that without thinking, but to me, Haaland is still the best captaincy option this week. I don't think Villa are going to do much in the way of stopping him returning. And obviously, Forest, very hard to read them after they've just sacked Ange, and Bournemouth have them at home. So they could be a little bit more resilient than what they showed against Chelsea with a new manager. Who knows? Not entirely sure. But I do like Haaland again for the captaincy, which is just extremely vanilla. But you don't, I guess, change something that's working, do you? Simple as that. Um, Overall, we've had a fantastic 2 weeks. We've scored 181 points in the last two, I think from memory, and we've moved into 178k. We used our free transfer, João Pedro to Nick Waltemade, and I know that's a little bit controversial because you still see Victor Gyökeres in my team, but I think he will come good soon. If you haven't checked out the UCL video, go and check that out. If you haven't checked out the Supercoach video, make sure you go and check that out as well. The content coming out is huge. Also, the game day squad content will be coming out later today or tomorrow. Not entirely sure. Need to free up the schedule there. But as always, thank you guys so much for tuning into the channel. Really appreciate it. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure you leave a comment. Make sure you let me know what your plans are this week. It's always good to converse with it. And as always, guys, if you have not subscribed yet, make sure you do. I don't know what to tell you. If you haven't, just go ahead and do it. Simple as that. Have a fantastic day, guys. Thank you. If you've enjoyed this video, then please like and subscribe. And don't forget to check out the website at supercoachswordplay.com.